Murphy, and I am so excited to be UWL's campus organizer. This semester, I was so ready to be a senior in college pursuing my passion for international relations. However, as a young woman who is a survivor of sexual assault, deferring my graduation to work on this incredible campaign, on this incredible campus, with these incredible college Democrats was a no-brainer. I decided to come here because I knew that I had to do what I could to ensure that no one was denied the rights that I was lucky enough to have at that time. Whatever your reason for being here, whether it is similar to mine or not, you are in a position to make an enormous difference in this incredibly and scarily tight race. Every door knocked, every phone called, every friend you asked to vote will change the balance of this election. And getting started is so easy. Whether you're a student or not, just find an organizer with a clipboard and get signed up. And if you're already volunteering, just get that one more shift in. This is the home stretch. And students, remember, you can vote on campus starting on October 22nd in the Student Union. Just print out that letter confirming your proof of residency from your wings portal and bring your ID. In the meantime, there's something even simpler that you can do. There are 2,500 people here. In 2020, it's great. In 2020, President Biden won Wisconsin by just 20,000 votes. If each of you reminds just 7 people of your why before Election Day, we are already there. It could be your lab partner. It could be your mom. It could be the Quick Trip cashier. Just 7 people. That is less than 3 people every week before Election Day. There are so many people working so hard to make this thing happen, and you can be one of them. But the critical thing to remember is that we are not alone. We are in this together, and I'm not just talking about young people. This is a multi-generational movement. My mom gave me the Harris-Walz t-shirt I'm wearing today because she couldn't imagine her daughter having fewer rights than she was born with in 1974. Would be appalled to know that she ended up dying in a state where abortion is now completely illegal, with no exceptions. Yeah. There are a lot more things I could say, but it all comes down to one simple phrase. We can't go back. All right. All right. Enjoy the rally.
Oh my goodness. Look at all these people. Welcome to La Crosse. Welcome to UWL. Thank Thank you for being here. I'm Mitch Reynolds. I'm the mayor of the city of La Crosse, proud to be here with all of you today, and absolutely thrilled to welcome Vice President Kamala Harris to our city. Now, she's going to be here in a little while, but I'm going to tell you a few things. I'm going to tell you that, Vice President Kamala Harris has some big, big plans for a new way forward, for our community, for communities just like us. She's working to build an opportunity economy. That's right. One where Wisconsinites don't just get by, we get ahead. Kamala Harris will help small businesses by offering tax cuts for small business entrepreneurs and holding corporate price gougers accountable. And you know what? That includes those corporations responsible for ridiculously high prescription drug prices. Kamala Harris is going to help first-time homebuyers to afford a home by offering down payment assistance and building 3 million new units of affordable housing in our nation. That's right. That is housing our country desperately needs. She's going to help create more manufacturing jobs right here at home. Hey, y'all know what happened when Trump was in office, right? Those jobs went overseas. You've heard this before. Kamala Harris is working for the people. Donald Trump, he works for himself. We know what Donald Trump's extreme agenda will do to Wisconsinites. We've seen it. And look at that dangerous Project 2025 agenda, right? That's what he has in store. Higher prices, higher taxes for hard-working folks just like us. Attacking our fundamental freedoms as Americans. Attacking women and reproductive health care rights. And threatening the very core of our democracy. You know what? I'm not interested in that. We don't have to go down that dark road. With Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, we have a new way forward. This is not easy. We don't have an easy path here. Not in any kind of way. We need to spend the next 18 days battling to stop the unstable Donald Trump and elect a real fighter to the White House, Kamala Harris. Folks, she can't do this alone. She can't do this alone. She needs you to fight just as hard to elect down-ballot Democrats who will help support her agenda. And I mean great leaders like our wonderful Senator Tammy Baldwin. She has done so much for our nation. Folks, let's get Senator Baldwin reelected. Thank you all. Thank you all for being here today. Thank you for your support for Kamala Harris. And welcome to La Crosse. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon. Thank you.
What's up, Lacrosse? How y'all doing? Y'all here to have a little bit of fun? I like that. Would y'all mind if I, pick on Donald Trump a little bit? Okay. So some of you may know me, some of you may not, but I'm on the show called Shark Tank. Has anybody ever watched it? That's what I like to hear. And I also own part of a team called the Dallas Mavericks, who happen to be playing the Bucks tonight in Dallas. I won't make you say go Mavs. What you may not know is that I have started and invested in a lot of different businesses, a lot of them. And I'm proud of the fact that I've created more than 1,000 millionaires. More than 1,000. A lot of that on Shark Tank. And so a lot of what I love doing is I love helping companies become successful, which is why this election is so important to me and to all of us. This election is a battle for entrepreneurs. This election is a battle for small business. Do we have any entrepreneurs in the house? Anybody who ever started a small business, works at a small business? That's what I like to hear. I got some interesting information for you. Did you know that there are 33 million businesses in this country? 33 million. That's a lot. But did you know that 99.5% of them are small businesses? That's insane when you think about it. The big guys only have 0.5% are big companies. And that's why Kamala Harris wants to grow the number of small businesses in this country from 33 million to more than 50 million. She wants to do it because she knows that small businesses drive this economy. She knows that more than 55% of new hires, new jobs, new hires every single year, more than 55% come from small businesses. So it's all of you that are here, the entrepreneurs, the small businesses that are here, you guys drive the economy and make it better. But I like that. I like you guys. Yeah, you guys get it. You know, small businesses aren't just about driving the national economy, they're about communities as well. We all have the stores that we've been going to for years, the people we know that work there. Maybe they were the first jobs that we had when we were in school. Oh, you can't hear me? You can't hear me as loud as I am and you guys can't hear me? Is that better? As I was saying, she knows that small businesses are an integral part of our community, that we grow up with them. And she wants to help those businesses grow because she knows that maybe one of you here right now will start a business that turns into the next Google, that turns into the next Nike. And I want all of you to just ask yourself, why not me? Why can't I be the one that starts that business? Why can't I be the one that changes the world because I took that first step to start that business and Kamala Harris helped me take that first step? That's why what she is doing is so important. You know, in my career, I've learned a lot about business, including how tariffs work. Now let me just ask you a question. Do you all know anybody who doesn't know how tariffs work? All right, I'll give you a hint. That other guy. Now he has this crazy notion that putting a tariff of 60% on every single product imported from China is a good idea. Let me just tell you, this man has so little understanding of tariffs, he thinks that China pays for them. This is the same guy who also thought that Mexico would pay for the wall. So there's no Mexico. Did Mexico pay for that wall? Hell, no, you said it wrong. Hell no. That's what I'm talking about. You know, we all know that across-the-board tariffs are a tax on everybody. All the major economists have said so. Kamala has talked about it over and over again. But, you know, I'm going to give him a little bit of credit. I honestly think that he used to understand how tariffs work. I mean, back in the 90s and the early 2000s, he was a little bit coherent when he talked about trade policy. And he actually made a little bit of sense. But I don't know what happened to him. The way he's been thinking about tariffs and trade now, something's a little bit lost. And now his trade policies, particularly with tariffs, are basically just gibberish. Do you hear what I'm saying? Thank you. Thank you. But wait, it gets worse. When it comes to tariffs with Donald Trump, it gets a lot worse. Hear me. I'm sounding like Colin. Hear me when I say that Donald Trump wants you to have a lousy Christmas. Donald Trump is that Grinch, the Grinch, that wants to steal your Christmas. Now let me explain. People just don't realize how many of the products that we use on a daily basis are made in China. It's a lot. And this time next year, you're going to be making decisions on the Christmas presents you want to buy for family and friends, won't you? All the toys, sporting goods, clothes, shoes, backpacks, even the good old book of dad jokes that I get every single Christmas. If Donald Trump is elected and he puts these 60% tariffs on Chinese products, they are all going up. All those things you buy are going up. Not by 10% or 20%, but by 50 or 60% or more. It'll be up so much you won't be able to afford the presents that you want for your family and friends. That's how bad the tariffs he wants are. I didn't hear you. I'll ask you another question. If prices go up 50 or 60%, will you be able to afford all the presents you want to buy for your family and friends? No. It'll be, hell no. Hell no. I've got got some new best friends. I like it here. You know, it'll be tough. It'll be heartbreaking not to be able to buy the Christmas presents that you want. And you know who will be the Grinch that stole that Christmas? Yeah, we don't like him. Let's just call him the Grinch from now on. But you know what? It gets worse than that. It's not just about the Christmas presents you won't be able to buy because the tariffs made them too expensive. But we were talking about small businesses. The local retailers that you've been supporting for years that are in your community, the local clothing shop, the local sporting goods store, the local knick-knack store that carries all the candles and all the goodies and funky gifts that you like to buy, their costs for everything they sell, or most of the things they sell, could go up by 60%. And unfortunately, when you raise your prices, again, the Grinch doesn't understand how economics work, but when the tariff increases the cost of their goods, the things that they sell, and they have to raise the price to match the tariffs, are they going to sell as much? Thank you. I thought I had you all trained too. And so what happens is when people can't buy as much as they were going to because the prices went up because of these stupid Chinese tariffs, not only is it a bad Christmas for you, but it's a bad Christmas for every single retail. The Grinch is the one that's going to be putting these companies out of business. The Grinch is the one that's going to be putting these small businesses. Thank you. Let me just say, this is the first time in my entire life someone's ever said they can't hear me. Behind every small business, there is an entrepreneur that busted their ass. Behind every small business, there is an entrepreneur who gave up almost everything to be able to start that business, who dreamed of a better future for their family. The Trump that stole Christmas, the Grinch, will crush those dreams if elected. So let me tell you again. Is there a candidate that will help those small businesses grow? Is there a candidate that is helping to, thank you, there you go. Can I get a hell no? But there is one candidate who has an amazing program for small businesses. There is one candidate who is trying to help every single entrepreneur make their American dream come true. On Shark Tank, I invest in so many companies, and I talk to so many, and I help them. I see the struggles, I see the opportunity, I see the heart, I see the fear sometimes when you're running the business. And if Donald Trump is elected, that 60% across the board tariffs, or even worse, can put them out of business, which is exactly why we need Kamala Harris to be the next president of the United States of America. So I'm going to ask y'all one more question. I'm going to ask you one question. And I want a hell yes. I haven't asked a question yet. Maybe there's going to be multiple hell yeses. Are you going to work to help Kamala Harris be elected? Are you going to go and talk to every single person you know and ask them and help them vote for Kamala Harris? Is Kamala Harris going to be the next president of the United States of America? Thank you, everybody. I appreciate it.
Lacrosse. My name is Cisco Garcia, and I am a student here at the University of Wisconsin-La Crosse. I am so honored to be here today to welcome Vice President Kamala Harris to La Crosse. I am a first-generation American and the first person in my family to go to college. My mom always prioritized my future above everything else. She worked hard and even took up a second job just to provide for me and give me the support that I needed to succeed. My mom's actually here today, so thank you, Mom. It wasn't easy to watch my mom sacrifice so much for my own future, but it has made me all the more determined to help families just like mine. I'm voting for Vice President Harris because she understands those struggles. Like me, she grew up with a working mom, and she is also a child of immigrants who taught her to believe in the promise of America. And now I'm standing here in front of all of you, introducing the Vice President of the United States. That is the American dream that Vice President Harris is fighting for. Her plans will cut taxes for the middle class, reduce grocery costs, and make housing more affordable, and bring down healthcare costs. On the other hand, we know who Donald Trump is. He only cares about himself, not us. He would have virtually no guardrails if elected, and his extreme agenda would jack up prices, increase healthcare costs, and raise taxes for the typical family by nearly $4,000 per year. That would all be at the expense of families like mine. I know my family can't afford that, and I'm sure that yours can't either. That's why I'm so excited to cast my first ever presidential ballot for Vice President Harris. And I'm so excited to welcome her here to La Crosse today. Please welcome our next president, Kamala Harris.
To be back in here at the University of Wisconsin-La Crosse. Thank you all. Go Eagles! Oh, it's good to be everyone. And Mark Cuban, thank you for all that you are and being a part of it. Thank you. So some of you may know, when I was 5 years old, we lived in Wisconsin. My parents taught at the University of Wisconsin in Madison for a time, and every time I come now, when I land, Governor Evers will greet me and he'll say, "Welcome home." So it is good to be back in Wisconsin. And this is a room full of leaders, and I thank you all for taking the time out of your busy lives to be here to have this conversation. I want to thank Mayor Reynolds. Thank you for the warm welcome and all you do. And La Crosse, let's re-elect someone who has spent her career fighting for the families of Wisconsin, your Senator Tammy Baldwin. We need her in Washington. We need her in Washington. Good. So, Election Day is in 19 days. 19 days. And if you all have a chair or a seat, please do sit for anyone who has a chair, okay? So listen, we are nearing the home stretch. And this is going to be a tight race until the very end. And we got this. I see you. And reality check, we are the underdog, okay? And that's why I'm here with you, and you are taking the time to do the hard work that is necessary. It's why I'm campaigning for every vote, because I want and intend to be a president for all Americans. And no matter their political party, where they live, or where they get their news, okay? And on that point, last night you may have seen I went on Fox News. And while I was doing that, Donald Trump was at a Univision town hall where a voter asked him about January 6th. Okay, so now we here know January 6th was a tragic day. It was a day of terrible violence. There were attacks on law enforcement. 140 law enforcement officers were injured. Some were killed. And what did Donald Trump say last night about January 6th? He called it a, quote, a day of love. But it points out something that everyone here knows. The American people are exhausted with his gaslighting. Exhausted with his gaslighting. Enough! We are ready to turn the page. Let's turn the page. We're done. And Wisconsin, and we're not going back, because this election, we're not going back. We're not going back. And we are not going back because we know that this election is about two very different visions for our nation. One that is focused on the past, and ours that is focused on the future. As represented by everyone here, and especially the students who are here right now. It's about you guys. It really is. It really is. And we know that America is ready for a new way forward. ready for a new and optimistic generation of leadership. Which is why Democrats and independents and Republicans are supporting our campaign. In fact, just yesterday, I was with over 100 Republican leaders from across the country who joined me on the campaign trail. And as they said, it was about putting country before party. And some of them served in Donald Trump's previous administration, the people who know him best, okay? And I believe, and I think we all know, Americans want a president who works for all the American people. It's what we deserve. And that has been the story of my entire career. In my career, I've only ever had one client, the people. When I was a young courtroom prosecutor, I stood up for women and children against predators. As Attorney General of California, I took on the big banks, fought to deliver $20 billion for middle-class families who faced foreclosure. I stood up for veterans and students being scammed by for-profit colleges. I stood up for workers who are being cheated out of the wages they were due, stood up for seniors facing elder abuse, and I promise as president I will always fight for all the American people, and together, we can and we will build a future, a brighter future for our nation. That's why we're all here together. We love our country. Together, we will build in that future what I call an opportunity economy, which is where every American has an opportunity to own a home, to start a business, to build wealth. Under my plan, and I know this is a big deal for the young people here, we will bring down the cost of housing. Because there was a time that generations of Americans could count on the American dream, but for far too many these days, it is just out of reach. So we will deal with the housing supply, and I will commit to creating a $25,000 down payment assistance so you can, for the first-time home buyers, just get your foot in the door. We will help entrepreneurs and small businesses to begin and grow, because we know small businesses are part of America's backbone in terms of the strength of our economy. You know, the woman who helped raise my sister and me was a small business owner. I know, do we have small business owners who are here? Raise your hand. You are not only business leaders, you are civic leaders, you are community leaders, and you really are part of the backbone of America's economy, and we've got to invest in you and make your jobs easier. My plan will help expand Medicare to cover home health care for seniors. And this is personal for me. So part of you may know, some of you may know, that when my mother was sick, I took care of her. And for anybody who is taking care of an elder parent when they are in their time of need, the work, it includes trying to cook something that they feel like eating, right? Helping them put on a sweater, trying to make them just laugh from time to time, right? It's about dignity. It's about dignity. But for far too many people, including people in the sandwich generation who are raising young children and taking care of a parent, oh, it's so rough. And so my plan is this. It's to say, instead of how it currently is, which is in order for you to be able to get help to come in, you're going to have to pretty much get rid of all your savings to qualify for Medicaid. What I'm saying is, no, this is a matter of dignity, and it is a matter of your ability to participate in the workforce and be productive and have a quality of life. So we're going to change the system so Medicare will cover your ability to have home health care for your elder parent. Because you see, part of the difference between the way we see our country and the world and the way my opponent sees it is we actually see real people and care about them and have a sense of understanding about how tough times can be, but how good times can be if we put the work into solving problems instead of trying to run on problems like Donald Trump. And so that's why we will also lower costs on everything from healthcare to groceries, including taking on corporate price gouging, which I've done before and I will do again. And we will give a middle-class tax cut to 100 million Americans, including $6,000 for young parents, parents who are just starting out during the first year of their child's life, knowing the vast majority of our parents have a natural desire to parent their children well, but not always the resources to do it. And so this is about helping folks out to be able to buy a car seat and a crib just during that most critical phase of their child's development. This is all about dignity. And this is about understanding. And so I share this to say I will always put the middle class and working families first. It's where I come from, and I will never forget where I come from. I will never forget where I come from. Now, Donald Trump has a different plan. I love you back, by the way. Thank you. Donald Trump has a different plan. So just Google Project 2025. Now we're at a place of higher learning, so I must say, I can't believe they put that thing in writing. I really can't. They put it in writing, they bound it, like they bound it and handed it out. So look, we read it, right? It's a detailed and dangerous blueprint for what he will do if he is elected president. You know, I've said many times, you've heard me say, Donald Trump is an unserious man, and the consequences of him ever getting his foot back in the Oval Office are brutally serious. Brutally serious. So Donald Trump, right? That's why we're here together, and we're here because we know we got work to do still. Donald Trump will give billionaires and corporations massive tax cuts. He will cut Social Security and Medicare. He will get rid of the $35 cap on insulin for seniors. He will make it easier for companies to, check this out, he will make it easier for companies to deny overtime pay for workers, and will impose what I have named a Trump sales tax, because essentially he plans on putting a 20% tax, if not higher, on everyday basic necessities, which economists have estimated will cost the average American $4,000 more a year. And on top of all of this, Donald Trump intends to end the Affordable Care Act. And he has no plan to replace it. You guys watched the debate. He has, quote, concepts of a plan. serious issue, right? So he's going to threaten the health insurance coverage of 45 million people in America based on a concept. Taking us back to when insurance companies had the power to deny people with pre-existing conditions. You remember what that was? Well, we are not going back. We are not going back. We are not going back. We're not going back. We're not going back. And just like Wisconsin's state motto tells us, we will move forward. We will move forward. Because ours is a fight for the future, and it is a fight for freedom. For freedom. Like the fundamental freedom of a woman to make decisions about her own body and not have her government tell her what to do. Right. I see you. And again, we're not going to be gaslighted on this. We remember Donald Trump hand-selected 3 members of the United States Supreme Court with the intention that they would undo the protections of Roe v. Wade, and they did as he intended. Oh, you guys are at the wrong rally. No, I think you meant to go to the smaller one down the street. Come on. So, but back to the matter at hand. We need a medic here. We need a medic. Right here, and then let's part the way so someone can come through and bring help. Okay? Okay. All right, we're good. So, on the subject of his intention and what he actually did to undo the protections of Roe v. Wade, let's understand what has happened since. It is now the case that in America, 1 in 3 women live in a state with a Trump abortion ban. Many of these bans have no exception even for rape or incest. And you react that way because we understand the idea that someone who calls themselves a leader would even make no exceptions for a survivor of a violation to their body, and to tell that survivor they have no right to make a decision about what happens to their body next, that's immoral. That's immoral. It's immoral. And I know we all agree, one does not have to abandon their faith or deeply held beliefs to agree the government should not be telling her what to do. If she chooses, she will talk with her priest. If she chooses, she will talk with her priest or her pastor, her rabbi, her imam, but not the government telling her what to do. And it is my pledge to you that when Congress passes a bill to restore reproductive freedom nationwide, as President of the United States, I will proudly sign it into law. Proudly sign it into law. Lots of work to do. So listen, so much is on the line in this election. You all know that. Again, that's why you're here. And this is not 2016 or 2020. The stakes are even higher, because a few months ago, the United States Supreme Court told the former president he is effectively immune no matter what he does in the White House. Now think about that. Think about that. Just imagine Donald Trump with no guardrails, right? He who has vowed if re-elected he will be a dictator on day one. He who has called for the, quote, termination of the Constitution of the United States of America. And let us be very clear. Someone who suggests we should terminate the Constitution of the United States should never again stand behind the seal of the President of the United States. Never again. Never again. Never again. And then consider the comments that he made just in the last few days, because he's got more. He said he will target and punish those who disagree with him or refuse to bend to his will. He calls these Americans the enemy within, and says that he would use the American military to go after American citizens. Journalists whose stories he doesn't like. Nonpartisan election officials who refuse to cheat by finding a few extra votes for him. Judges who insist on following the law instead of following him. It is for reasons like these that General Mark Milley, the former chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Donald Trump's top general, has called Trump, and I quote, fascist to the core. And it is clear Donald Trump is increasingly unstable and unhinged, and will stop at nothing to claim unchecked power for himself. He wants to send the military after American citizens. He wants to prevent women from making decisions about their own body. He wants to threaten fundamental freedoms and rights like the freedom to vote, the freedom to be safe from gun violence, to breathe clean air and drink clean water, and the freedom to love who you love openly and with pride. So much is on the line in this election. So much is on the line. And Wisconsin, when it comes down to it, look, we are all here together because we know what is at stake. We are all here together because we love our country. And I do believe it is the highest form of patriotism to then fight for the ideals of our country and fight, Cisco, you said it, to realize the promise of America. The promise of America. So, Election Day is in 19 days, and here in Wisconsin, early voting starts next Tuesday, October 22nd. So now is the time to make your plan to vote. And if you have received your ballot, in the mail, please do not wait. Fill it out and return it today. And remember that Wisconsin has same-day voter registration. Right? So if you are not registered to vote, you can register when you vote, and please do vote early or on election day, because the election is, and bring an ID, because the election is here. And listen, I'm telling everybody what you already know and have been doing. We've got to energize, let's mobilize, let's organize. Let's continue in this process also to do what everyone here is doing. Let's build community, you know? Let's build coalitions. Let's remind each other that we are all in this together. Let's remind each other we have so much more in common than what separates us. And let's do all this knowing that our vote is our voice, and your voice is your power. Wisconsin, today I then ask you, are you ready to make your voices heard?